Okay, we're at the point of the installation where hopefully you're done and are swimming in your swimming pool, but if you're looking at this video, maybe not, maybe something went wrong in the middle. And I'm going to kind of talk about a couple of the common things that go wrong while you're doing it or while you're filling it, and how to adjust or how to fix them. All the time when it happens to a pro, it's fixable. At least 99% of the time the stuff is fixable. And how you approach that, it's a little patience, a little bit more work. Usually something goes wrong because you didn't follow the original instructions. That's okay, it's not a problem, it happens, it's still fixable, but a little bit more tedious, a little bit more work. We've been through the whole gamut of situations where a lot of people who are doing this themselves, or even the professionals, you're doing it when you want the pool for a pool party, or it's hot out, kids want to swim, so that can be difficult on parents. Obviously it can be difficult on moms and dads because kids are bugging them, wives are bugging the husbands, everybody's bugging the pool installer, and that's okay, it happens, it's part of our business. We do understand it, we're empathetic to it. First thing, when you're doing the installation, a lot of times we'll get a lot of people who may call and say, look, it's tight, it feels so tight, I'm having a hard time getting this up and over the wall. And that's okay, that's very, very common. I teach a lot of newer crews that do this, newer employees, and they have the same idea of, man, it feels like I'm doing the wrong thing because it's too tight. And basically one of the steps I use when I'm doing the north, south, east, and west technique, from the inside of the pool, if I'm having a hard time, it's too tight and it seems short and I can't get it up and over the wall, I actually take the liner and I lean into it with my chest and I pull it up and over, and then I kind of yank on it from the outside, and you'll get it, it'll go over and it will be nice and taut in the corners. But that is something that happens quite regularly where they're tight and you want to use your weight to get it up and over so that it actually can stretch afterwards. More importantly, the most common thing that goes wrong, if you followed our instructions but not quite, and something goes wrong after you kind of walked away from it. Another real common thing is for people to put that hose in, turn the water on, and say, look, I'm done, and leave. Go to the baseball game, go to sleep, and basically that's going against our instructions of install and fill in sunny, hot only. Only sunny and hot. So if it's not hot, it's not sunny, you got to turn it all off, wait till the next day when it's 80 degrees and sunny and hotter. Otherwise you run the risk of something going wrong. Or the other thing is, once it actually is filling and the vacuum's running, to not walk away from it. You have to actually stand there or check on it every 5 minutes all the way till it's about a foot full. Because the most common thing that happens when you're installing it and where things go wrong, because it's stretching, it's tight, so to speak, it wants to pull over the wall or it wants to pull back in towards the pool. So the mentality is, if you're there checking on it every couple of minutes, if that happens, if something slips, if it pulls inwards, you can stop it all. You can turn off the water, you can turn off the vacuum, you can take the top rails off, and you can actually adjust, clamp it down, and then start all over again. But you're watching it as it's happening, so it's easy to adjust then. If you let it go, if you don't check on it, and you just let it fill in while you're not there, well, then the problem is it pulls inwards, water fills up in the pool, and it creates a mess, a big, muddy, wet mess, where the only real result is taking all the water out and restarting. So what I'm describing is, this is the inside of the pool, and the water's filling up, right? Got a certain amount of water level, and you walked away from it, you didn't check on it. Well, what happens is the liner tends to droop or be pulled inwards. There's the top of the pool there. So the liner kind of pulls in, and as it's filling up, well, we'll get a lot of phone calls that'll say, oh my God, this liner's not the right size. This line, you sold me the wrong one. This is short, I can't do it. But that's actually not the truth. What happened was, while it's stretching, the top rails up here, the metal piece loosened up, and it didn't adhere or pull down on the top, so it gave way. Instead of stretching down in the corner, it pulled the liner inwards towards the pool. If that happens, and it does, it can happen, you basically have no other choice but take all the water out, every little bit, bone dry again, take the top rails at this point off, pull the liner back up and over. As a professional, we use some clamps when this happens, and we have to go back to adjust it, or we have to adjust it while it's filling. We use these types of clamps. All kinds of clamps will work. Again, you gotta be careful it doesn't have a rough edge or rip the liner. You rip the liner, you own it basically. But this type of thing works for us, where we clamp it down, then we refill it, and again we stay there till it's a foot full. We watch it fill basically, and then after it's stretched and it's a foot worth of water in it, and the liner hasn't pulled inwards, then it's done. Then it's done the stretching in the corner, and it's good to go, and all you have to do is kind of fill it up. We do deal with a lot of customers who maybe have hired a different professional, or have a pool installer or a liner installer that has come, and we respect the industry. We understand that. Personally, my company has installed 12,000 pool liners in the last decade, namely in Chicago, but in the Midwest. And so when a guy says that I've done 5 of these or 10 of these or 50 of them, that's fine. But the truth is, our technique is the one that this liner is designed for. And if something does go wrong, even if they used a different technique, that's okay. We can still help you. This is the most common thing, where they install the liner and they put the hose in, they walk away, and they let it fill during the night when it's not sunny and hot out, and the liner pulls inwards. And when that pulls inwards, it's kind of all hell breaks loose. Everybody's mad at everybody. It happens. That means they didn't do it the way we requested to do it. And the only real fail-safe way to fix that is to drain all the water out, pull it back up and over, clamp it down in some cases, and to do it the correct way, which is watch it fill. If you're watching it fill and something starts to slip up at the top, or an beaded liner pulls out of the track, you can stop right there and you can adjust before it fills up. So any adjusting or clamping is done while it's filling up, and then you keep continuing to fill. If you get to the foot point where it's a foot full worth of water, then you're okay, everything's good to go. Then you can walk away, let it fill to the halfway point, and eliminate the vacuum. We're also here to help you if something still goes wrong over and above that. We can still help. There's no problem with there. You have to contact our customer service line. But a lot of times people may be doing this on a Sunday evening and can't get a hold of somebody. So hopefully these videos have really gave a little bit of insight on how to do it. And the most important things of this, we can't reiterate many more times about hot and sunny for install and filling. It has to be hot and sunny for filling also. It can't be cooler, under 80, or cloudy or rainy. You gotta wait it out. You gotta actually fill it. That's the only way to get this thing to come perfectly wrinkle-free, looking really, really nice and lasting a long time. That's another real important part. It really has to do with not just getting the job done, but how long does it last? If you do it this way, it lasts a little bit longer. Otherwise, any other types of things that go wrong, a lot of it has to do with experience. You really need to do a couple hundred of these things before you're an expert, perfect, nothing goes wrong. As a professional, things go wrong on these things all the time, and it's not so much a freak out, it's more of a, okay, we have to go back and adjust, and we have to go back and redo. When we do it as a company, we make a good amount of money, so it's part of the game, or it's part of the business. But again, the end result is doing a good job, and it's a construction project where in the middle of that, if you're a homeowner that's the husband that's doing it themselves for the family, it can be done in a perfect way if you kind of follow these instructions to the T. We wish you luck. We hope you hopefully have a nice safe swim season. Remember, all the safety issues and all the things that have to do with a swimming pool are the most important thing that you can think about. You have to look at the local codes and make sure everything is to par so that your environment there is a nice safe swim season. And again, that burden comes on the professionals that install it or yourself, but it's important to remember there's nothing else more important than the safety issues of your swimming pool. And last but not least, we do recommend hiring, just a lot of people do it themselves, and it can be done. If you're handy, you're going to have a better chance, obviously, of doing it a really good job. But we recommend hiring a true professional or somebody like our company in the Midwest who installs a lot of these things and has run into every single circumstance, because every single swimming pool is a little bit different. We wish you luck, and God bless, and have a good summer. Thank you.